Hello everyone. What you see in front of you here is the recently released game Blitz in the East by Vento Novo Games. I've been playing the Blitz in the East tutorial scenario a couple of times, and for the Germans to win, they should conquer and hold Riga, Minsk, and Lviv, or Lviv. Well, as you can see, they actually hold two of them at the end of the Soviet turn, which means that I believe, that it's actually a draw because they hold two of the three victory cities. This is the fourth time I've played this scenario, and it seems to be pretty difficult to actually capture all three cities because of the zones of control that really hinder movement, as you know should be the case. And also for the Germans, they do have a blitz phase. If they buy the forgot what it's called. I think it's called the offensive marker or something like that. This is at the end of the Soviet turn, and the Soviets actually bought it. But for the Germans, well, they do have a blitz phase, but they need this particular unit over here, which is blitz capable, 2nd Panzer Army. This one could be blitz capable as well if it were full strength, but it actually starts the scenario at cadre level, so it cannot blitz. So this unit can blitz, and any units that start in the same hex or adjacent to it. So it's pretty difficult to maneuver everything in such a way that you get the most out of that, as well as because it really seems to be the case that it's not always the best thing to do to eliminate enemy units. These units, by the way, should still be removed in the final victory check, but I just wanted to show you the end of the scenario. If you play the campaign, I think it's probably a pretty good thing to do to just render a number of units out of supply. I could have done that in the north here too, with a couple of Soviet units in the German turn. But for this particular scenario, it is probably better to eliminate them, because they do actually impede the movement of German units during the Blitz phase, and it makes it much more costly to move, and for that reason it's very difficult to reach Minsk. This Russian unit was placed there at a later time during the Russian turn. But this unit probably would be able to make it. I think it started in Warsaw, and it probably would have been able to make it here had there not been any Soviet units. But the Soviet units really, it would be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, then it would actually be able to get there. Not quite sure if it, I'm pretty sure it started in Warsaw. That's where I moved it to. It started here, and that's where I moved it to. And then the Blitz phase, it could have, without these two units here, and this one was placed there later, it could have moved into Warsaw. So I probably should have eliminated them. But then again, had I been playing the campaign game, this is probably the better thing to do. Over here, that was pretty interesting as well during the Russian turn. They actually got some bonuses for what is called a concentric attack, which means that they attack from at least three different hexes which are not adjacent to each other. This German unit used to be full strength before the attack happened, but the strength is actually doubled, and at full strength I believe it's a unit that's worth as many as 7 strength points. So that was really, well, so that was even 14 then, probably, if it was doubled. Yeah, I guess I wouldn't have been able to attack in the first place, actually, over there, knowing that it's 17. Or maybe it was already reduced. I don't quite recall, actually. I think it wasn't, so it should have been 14. And then probably the Russians didn't get anywhere near it. This unit was halved to 1, 4, 7, and 9. So it never got there. So this attack shouldn't have been possible in the first place, knowing that the unit was as strong as it actually was. So that's actually very difficult, and it was also the only Russian attack that was possible at all. Um, no, I do. Well, no, I do actually believe it was reduced already. Well, anyway, never mind. It's very difficult for the Russians to attack at the beginning of the game as it should be. And in this particular scenario, the Great Patriotic War card wasn't used, obviously, um, because that makes it impossible for the Russians to buy any units at the end of turn one and to upgrade them and to replenish them. But on the upside, it makes it a lot cheaper for them to do all those things for the rest of the game. But since this scenario is only this particular turn and that's really it, well, obviously there is no need for that particular card, and then if you can just do all those things I just mentioned on turn one as well. So that's what I did. But even, I really couldn't get it much better than this. The only thing I might have been able to do had I played slightly differently was to use some air support there as well. But that wouldn't have made too much of a difference. So this attack shouldn't have happened in the first place. So it's also extremely difficult for the Soviets to recapture anything. Should Lviv also, even this was 8 as well, and this was 5 combined. This one is doubled because of the city. This attack wouldn't have been possible either, because if it's below 1-1, then an attack is not possible in the first place, and that's the initial odds. So they might actually change, but if the initial odds are worse than 1-1, then such an attack can't happen. So anyway, I'm still learning the game, but I'm finding it to be quite enjoying. But yeah, you keep on running into certain things as well. You think, okay, I might do this differently, or wait a minute. And of course, from time to time, you make some small mistakes as well. But yeah, it's certainly enjoying and enjoyable. And the first scenario, well, it's actually the second. The other one starts at a slightly later time, funnily enough, but this one is a lot of fun to try and figure out a way in which you can actually capture all 3 victory cities for the Germans. And holding them, as I said, should not be that difficult, because the Russians don't get a lot of attack markers, and most of their air support will be gone, as you can see here. And it seems to me they don't start with that particular card. They actually would get it on their first turn, but the scenario instructions specifically say there's only one card available, which is the Great Patriotic War one. So I'm assuming they don't draw that Sturmovik card, which allows them to rebuild their air units. So that's how I played it. But all in all, very enjoyable. I will keep on playing the scenario a couple of more times, and then I will try my hands at the Barbarossa scenario, which starts the same way, but then I will just keep on playing until it's probably the end of 41 or the beginning of 42. I'm not quite sure, but then I'll try that one. So first, once or twice, I'll try this one again, and then I'll try my hands at the Barbarossa scenario. So I hope you've got a small idea of how this game works, although of course I haven't gone into all that much detail. But I thought it was worth sharing with you. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.